my body back and forth. My body back and forth. Move my body back and forth.
The champ is here.
Wow.
It's a demo. It's a demo. It's a demo. It's a demo.
You heard the boy's life is a nice of what? He's the main entertainer inside the show, and he goes by the name of DJ. Keyboards.
It's a demo. 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 It's a professional performer. It's a demo. 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 You heard the boy's life is a nice of what? He's the main entertainer inside the show, and he goes by the name of DJ. Keyboards.
demo. It's a demo. Up, professional performer. It's a demo. It's a demo. It's a demo. It's a demo.
There we go. Good morning, everybody. How's it going? That was very cool. We're bright and early, shiny here on the West Coast. It is 7:30, and we are super excited to launch the brand new RANE Performer. I'm joined by Jake Hill, Senior Marketing Manager for In Music Brands. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, Ty.
Thanks, man. And I'm also joined by our one and only, the legendary, the undisputable DJ Ruffnek. What's going on, Ruffnek?
Not much. Just waking up.
And live from the other side of the pond, I've got Mojaxx too. I've got a whole crew in the house. I can just go
the
home.
Mohawk gang.
Hey guys,
let's go.
done. Good morning. How are you, sir?
Very well, thank you. Yeah, good. I hope my connection's okay. I'm on Wi-Fi on my phone because I bought a Mac Studio and that doesn't have a webcam. I'm used to having an iMac. So yeah, so I'm on my phone. So I hope it all connects and
good.
stays. Good. Mohawk gang. Oh, there we go.
Or a little last minute like code tweaking for the launch. So, well, cool. So this is a long time coming. This is exciting stuff. I am so glad we finally reached this day. And yeah, so today we're streaming on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We are on Facebook. Kevin's working on Instagram, I think. So we'll get that up and running here in just a second. But yeah, we're going to collect some questions throughout the beginning of the presentation. Jake's going to kind of go over stuff with us, and then we'll get back and circle back around to comments in a little bit. But Jake, give us the lowdown, man.
The skinny, yeah. I second that, Ty. This has been a long time coming. I'm so glad that he's finally here and the Performer is out, because we've been talking about this thing since the Super Bowl. And I joke because the Performer had its first 2 gigs were a private party before the Super Bowl, and its second gig was the Super Bowl halftime show. So that was, looking back, an awesome experience for the Performer, but we were super gutsy because that was like on beta everything. And we're like, yeah, let's go with Super Bowl halftime show. So we couldn't resist the opportunity, but I'm happy to be here, and I'm going to talk you through the main primary features. We're not going to get too in depth. We're going to cover top level stuff, and then we'll get questions and answer those as we go along. So let me switch my camera view. All right. So we have the RANE Performer. It is a 4-channel motorized Serato DJ controller, with the primary feature being these aluminum die-cast platters with these discs. So these are an acrylic kind of vinyl feel disc. There are 4 magnetic points on the disc. That's how they attach to the platter. But there are slip rings included with the Performer, so you can find your feel, as we say. So we have, different rings, plastic, black, or white. You can use 1, 2. We recommend up to 2. I think you could probably squeeze 3 in there, but you probably wouldn't need to. But for me, I like the 1 white because it feels like what I'm used to. And so that's kind of the primary feature. And also with these platters, another thing I really love is we have multiple views. So I'll just cycle through a few of those. But the ones I love are the standard waveform view, because you can see the opposite side moving on the waveform on this deck, as well as the center waveform for this side and the overview for this side. But what I think is really cool is turn the library knob, and it shows the library view from Serato. So you can browse and load directly on your screen display, so that you don't have to stare at your laptop. So it's a little less dependence on that Serato face we all dislike. But those are the platters. They're high torque. You can adjust the torque in the setting, and to low torque if you prefer that feel, if you're more accustomed to it. But definitely the highlight of the Performer are the motorized platters. We did also add in, and we tried to keep this under wraps until launch day, and I think we did a pretty good job. These up faders are all brand new. So these are called precision feel faders. And if you were to take off, suggest this, if you were to take off this fader faceplate, you would see under here there are magnets to adjust the tension on these precision feel up faders. So they use the same dual rail kind of setup as the Mag 4 crossfader, but they have a side mounted fader. And I have one off to the side with the faceplate off, let me lift this baby up. And I'll show you so you can actually see what the faders look like. 1 second. Okay. Here they are. So you can see the dual rails in there. That's the same rail setup as the crossfader. It's 28 pounds, so it's a little heavy, but and then the magnets are adjustable for tension. Right there. The lighting is a little off when I get up there, but you can see that it's a nice little mixer section there. And then along with that, we'll dive in a little deeper on these, but we ported over the A-Track 70 fader effects to these precision fail faders. So they turn into linear controls for, roll, ring modulator, pitch, and 4 types of tone generators. So in addition, we added a few extra effects to the 29 internal effects and the 4 channel effects that are the same that we ported over from the 4, as well as all the pad modes you know and love. And the last little bit, we added stem level EQ, accessible by shift and tapping the headphone cue. Turns the 3-band EQ into stems control. And I'm out of breath from lifting that performer. It's 28.2 pounds, a little heavier than a 1200, but definitely manageable. Oh, and the last thing I didn't mention on the displays, inside the menu, there are so many options. There is also a day mode option inside the display, so you can turn that on or off. And that carries through to all the display modes.
I'm so annoyed because I made a 32-minute review. I put so much work into that video, and I didn't realize there were extra view modes. At no point did I realize that. They're not in my video because I didn't know they existed.
Haven't you had to go back and recut stuff into your videos before?
No. I never put stuff in. I've taken stuff out, but I've never put stuff in. So yeah, I didn't even know that. That is depressing. But that looks cool. I'm really cool. It's cool to see them though. Like, that's dope.
Yeah.
Can you show us those again, Jake?
Yeah. So you just shift. I don't think I have a closer view where you can see it, but shift, and then the beat jump buttons will cycle through the view modes. So this is a standard default, and then you hit it again. And this is more of like similar to the RANE 4. It's kind of a lapsed ring, and they still all show the same, beat jump length in the upper left-hand corner, and the lower left-hand corner is loop length. And then you got key in the lower right, and then the upper right is pitch and pitch percentage range. So then the third view is album artwork with a wider waveform view at the bottom. And then the other one is, again, the library browse option.
Cool.
Super cool. I mean, that's something. I mean, obviously, we're not going to mention the name Rev 7 very often in this little stream, but
that was it. You got your one.
The Rev 7 doesn't have that. That's something that the Rev 7 does not have, is that library browse view, and that's killer. It's a really nice feature to have in those screens because you're making such good use of that real estate. I think it's fantastic.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, and little things. I really appreciate some of the little things workflow wise on that too, because I used to be a habitual Command P user on Serato, like, put that in my prayer crate, put that in my prayer crate.
Yep.
On this, you can browse your library, and then you could shift and back button, and that throws it into your prepare crate. So then you can navigate to your prepare crate and load up all your prep tracks. Super handy.
Very cool.
Yeah, that day mode as well, super cool. I didn't notice that until quite late on in the process of reviewing it. That's a great option as well for DJs performing outside, because obviously those OLED displays look great in daylight anyway, the smaller displays. So to have that day mode on the larger displays, that's a really cool feature for a lot of people, especially mobile DJs doing outdoor events and what have you. It's great.
Yep. Yeah, that day mode was turned on this one too, so that was kind of a surprise. Jake, there's also A-Track fader effects on this as well, correct?
Yeah, correct. They are, so we do allow the option in the main menu. You can disable them or enable them so that they show on your effects list. And let me just switch view here. To navigate your different effects. So we have, 6 quick access effects buttons here. But there's, like I said, there's 29 under the hood. So you would just hold down an effect and turn this encoder. Let me get out of day mode here. And then that would allow you to select the different effects. we put the fader effects at the end. They all start with FDR. It's not Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It's fader. And so we have a fader filter, fader pitch, fader ring modulator, and fader roll, and then fader tone. And tone is 4 different tone generators with a ton of different options. So just to, I'm not going to do a crazy tone generation demo, but I want to talk you through some of these options, just show the depth. So I can choose between triangle, square, sawtooth, sine. And then you can also, I'll take that off because it's kind of annoying. You can also select the octave. And then you can use the parameter encoder to select the scale. Major, minor, off. And then you can even select the note with the joystick. And then you could even play it with the paddle if you wanted to. So that's just one of the tones you can select. There's 4 to choose from, and you have all the root notes you can select. And so a bunch of options there just that are available just by going through the parameter. And also it's worth noting on all the effects, on the main effects, this parameter knob, if you just push it, it'll select different options. Like for echo, I push it, I can set the feedback. I push it again, it's the high pass filter cutoff. And then I can adjust things and just long press the effects button, and it'll save everything I just adjusted. So you can really dial in all the effects, reassign the pads as you like on the buttons, and then just dial them in and save them. Then every time you boot up your performer, they're there for you.
Nice. And so it saves all of the effect settings on reboot.
Yeah. Yep. It'll save them if you just long press that button. Saves your settings. Then you're all set.
Cool. So Fernando, you've had the RANE 4 out and about a few times. You've used it at a couple of gigs. What's your initial feelings on it? How are you feeling about it as a video DJ? What do you like about the Performer? Did I say RANE 4? Performer.
Yeah, I was surprised that it wasn't heavier. It's compared to the 4 that I've had since last year, it's only 9 pounds heavier. It's not significant. I mean, coming from turntables, I'm used to carrying a coffin. It's what, 180 pounds,
right?
You know, turntables, and I have the 78 track. So going from that to the RANE, and now to the Performer, yeah. I mean, it's insane. The way the platters work, as someone who's been on turntables since like the mid 80s, this is just a godsend. I love it. I absolutely do. And I've used this outdoors quite a bit. I do quite a bit of corporate gigs, and I did a Pride Festival a couple weeks ago. That was outdoors. The day mode, excellent. Worked great. Same thing. I just did the Day of Music festival for the city of Fullerton, and yeah, it was like a 9-hour gig, not a single hiccup the entire time, just rock solid.
Right on. And have you video DJ'd with it yet?
I have, and yeah, all my settings that I've had MIDI mapped for my RANE 4 were saved. Everything works exactly the same. I even have the effects parameter knob. I use that because I don't use Serato video. I use Mix Emergency. I can have a randomizer for my video transitions. I can choose whatever one. If I see one coming up that I don't want, I can just click it and go to the next one. And everything was saved. Everything works exactly the same. So it works great. It's been solid for me.
Very cool. Very cool. Mojaxx, how about you? Have you had it out and about?
Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. Like, we were given permission by Jake to be able to use it live. I mean, this is the whole thing, right? This big delay. It dropped at the Super Bowl, started, getting the hype around it. People didn't quite know what it was, and then the date was put back. Originally, I think it was going to be early May. Was the original plan. So most of us who've got reviews out now have had it in hand for at least like almost 3 months. So I did take it out to a number of gigs once I was allowed, and including some corporate stuff, which was quite scary because it was like, this is quite an important gig that I'm getting paid quite a lot of money for. But it is the bomb. Like, it is amazing, and it looks amazing as well. It looks like a really impressive piece of hardware. So I did take it out to a number of gigs, and it's been, on the whole, flawless. There was one version of Serato where I had a little bit of a reset, but that was an early beta, and that's what you deal with beta stuff. I mean, that I did appreciate the bravery of RANE putting that thing up there on the Super Bowl halftime stage with a very early beta of Serato. I mean, that is balls of steel right there, and they did it and they got away with it. So fair play. That is a baller move. But yeah, no, it's. I already loved the 4. The 4 was a fantastic piece of kit, like a superb piece of hardware. But give me spinning platters, I will always take spinning platters.
Right.
You know, there is a weight penalty for sure. Like it's 50% heavier. You know, going from like 18 pounds to 28, it's almost half as heavy again. And it is, yeah, it's a chunky boy, but it's worth it for me because that feel of that vinyl feel is just what I want all the time. It's what I'm after. And so combining your existing awesome features of the 4 with the spinning platters as well just made me super happy. I mean, you know, the 4 I think still sits alongside it very happily, and this is something I go into in my review. It's like, look, the 4 is not dead. The 4 is very much still part of this lineup, and I think some DJs will actually prefer the 4 because of that £10 weight difference, because they just generally don't want spinning platters. They're not a spinning platter kind of DJ. So there are this, and you know, that's like $500 less than the Performer as well. So that's quite a big saving. You know, $500 is not to be sniffed at. So I think the 4 is still very much a relevant piece of kit, and it's just got the new STEM EQ mode as well in the latest Serato update, the new firmware. So yeah, I think it's great to have them both in that lineup and give people the options of which one they want to go to. But for me, it's the Performer. Absolutely, it's the Performer every time. Love it.
Right on. Awesome. Just to remind everybody that these are in stock. They are ready to ship today, which is fantastic. Well done, RANE. Make sure you put some questions over, bounce some questions to us. We will get to those here in just a second. We don't have a coupon code live for this product, but if you're on stream and you're looking to pick one up today, you got to call in and get a special stream discount. That'll be over probably around noon Pacific time today. So if you're watching the stream, make sure you give us a call in if you want to get a little special stream discount on picking up a Performer today. So Jake, do you want to take a few questions? And then we had a whole kind of list of some deeper dive, nerdier stuff that we wanted to get to. Are we cool doing that?
Yeah, perfect. Let's do it.
Beautiful. Kevin, are you driving questions or am I? Kevin's doing it. Awesome. DJ Gumby, what's the ratio of plastic build versus metal? Is the entire body made of metal?
So on the Performer, the whole bottom chassis that wraps around the sides, let me switch. The sides and the bottom chassis are completely one piece of steel. And the platters are, you know, die-cast aluminum. So those are all metal. And then the rest of it, it's a mix. So like there's plastic under here and plastic around here. But for example, the precision fill faders that I mentioned, they sit on a metal circuit board. So it's just a combination for a few different reasons. But all metal would be awesome, but super heavy, and it's not always the best move for the entire. Yeah, it's not the best move for the entire unit. We reinforce the majority of it, the chassis, so that's solid. But the top is some plastic at work there.
I can tell you it's solid. It is rock solid. It feels sturdy. Yeah, it doesn't have a toyish feel at all.
Yeah,
I thought it was all metal. I actually said in my review, it's all metal. I thought it was all metal.
That's good. Go with that, Mojaxx. Everybody, just go with what Mojaxx.
It's very metal. It's super metal. It just feels like that, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, you know, the fundamentals of the build are all metal. You know, it's not like sometimes you get a product and it's like, yeah, the sides are plastic and everything. It's, you know, there may be plastic going on the top plate, but the fundamentals, the actual body of the unit is all metal, and it feels it. You know, absolutely solid. You know, I tried not to use the phrase tank-like in my review because I always overuse that with RANE products, but like they do feel like tanks. They feel absolutely
kind of natural
solid.
Though, isn't it? I mean, yeah, that's been the way we've described their products for, you know,
lean into that. Like for example, the faceplate, you know, the mixers, that's metal, like you know, solid metal chunk. So yeah, it's metal chassis with metal components throughout, but a little mix materials.
I think 12-inch skins. Jared, what did you say was carbon steel? Is that right? I think he just posted it's carbon steel. So yeah, fader plate is carbon steel. So there you go.
Yeah, and I
He did a
skipped over this.
metallurgical analysis.
Yeah, he's a smart guy. Shout out to Jared. I did want to bring up real quick, and then we'll take some more questions. The so firmware and Serato version. So if you buy this today, if you rush out and grab your Performer from AGI Pro today, Serato's update that will work with it is later today. They're in New Zealand, so their rollout's a little differently. So you're gonna have to wait till about 5 p.m. No big deal. But the day one firmware is available on the rane.com/downloads, and that will update your firmware so you have access to all the fader effects and things like that, because that came at the very end of our production. So that firmware is going to have the last batch of improvements and fixes, as well as fader effects and things like that. And that's a quick updater on the RANE downloads page. There's also a driver there you're going to need to install on your Serato for it to work. But yeah, it's all on RANE, and then you have to wait till about 5 p.m. Eastern for Serato.
Cool. That works. Rami says, how are the microphone inputs on the Performer? Have had bad luck with the RANE 4 microphone. Seems a lot of people complained about the microphone sounding robotic on the 4. Hopefully that's not the case with the Performer.
Yeah, so the 4, that was fixed in a firmware update. And then I will say the Performer, we knew that the 4 had that perception of the people saying the mic inputs, they didn't like them. Granted, a lot of that was fixed with the firmware update, but we wanted to ensure that that wasn't the case with the Performer at all, leave no margin of error. And so, yeah, they got extra scrutiny when they were ported over to the Performer to make sure that they were, top notch. And there are two
ready to go.
Yeah, there are 2 combo jacks in the back. You use a 1/4 inch or an XLR, and then some additional routing options, say for the mic, like for this live stream here, I have it all running. I'm using the Performer as like basically a sound card. I've got the audio going out to my computer through the USB. And then I routed the mic. In the menu, you can route the mic to your headphones, which I have that as well. Or you can route it to the USB, so then ensure that's on or off. Or you can route it to a booth output if you want to, take it off of your booth output or put it on there. So a lot of kind of under the hood routing options to make use of those mic inputs.
No kidding.
Yeah,
Fernando,
I used the
mic plugged into it?
Sorry. Go ahead.
No.
I'm sorry, what was your question?
Have you plugged your mic directly in, or are you still using the CQ12?
No, pardon me. I've used both. I've depending on the gig, if I use it at my regular residencies, the one that I have every other week, then I just plug right into it.
Just plug your headphones into it?
Yeah. Yeah, just cup it. No, but yeah, I just go directly. But if like for my corporate gigs, because I normally have multiple microphones anyway and whatnot, I want to be able to control everything, so I just have it on the CQ. But
everything
yeah,
is the CQ.
Yeah.
Cool. Mojaxx, what were you going to say?
Yeah, I was going to say they sound really good to me. I used in the demo portion of my review, I was using the mic input, mic 1 on the Performer, and it sounded really good to me. The preamps are nice. Tried a couple of different handheld mics, and yeah, all good there. I appreciate that, it's very similar way of working with the mic inputs across different RANE products. I use the 70 A-Track edition a lot when I'm doing live streams and so on, and it's very similar kind of feel, very similar with the effects as well, the echo on there and all that. So, but it's those routing options that really kind of level those up as well. The fact you can, remove them from the booth, you can remove them from the headphones, whatever you want to do. That's all really powerful stuff. So yeah, I'm very happy with the mics.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Ivan on YouTube. People need to see the removable platter. I've had many people break theirs. They just came out. Can you show
might
the platter?
Be referring to Rev 7.
Maybe the Rev 7. Yeah. Jake, can you show the platter close up?
Oh yeah. Here, let me just switch camera and I'll just scoot it over to get it in frame.
Kevin, can you zoom it on Jake's real quick? There we go.
Okay, so here is the platter, and then it's just magnetic. You can hear it kind of click off, and then these 4 points here are the contact points that align with these 4 points on the disc. And let's see if you can see that. See, there's no tabs. It's just kind of like a curved edges, so that it just kind of, that's just to guide you into these contact points. Then you just line it up and then just get it on there, let go, and then it kind of snaps in.
Beautiful.
So yeah, that's how it works.
Are those going to be available as spares though? In case
sure if
people
you-
are idiots and break them and like smash them
Yeah,
up or
I'm
something.
sure. So with RANE, we do have, parts available. You just contact support and we don't sell them on the website or anything directly, but we'll hook you up with something if you break something. Yeah, because somebody probably will do something and break,
They'll do
break
something
these, but
crazy.
they are
Yep.
solid. I mean, they're pretty thick.
Yeah. They're acrylic, right? Is that?
Yeah, acrylic.
Yeah.
And textured on top.
Yep.
Vinyl-like texture. It's actually like a second or third iteration of the wheels the platters we went through as far as the top to make sure it felt right.
You see that? No, you can't really see the texture. Yeah. It's pretty brilliant design though. You guys did a good job. And I like how the notches they're kind of beveled out. So just like you said, it just kind of slips on there. Yep. Ramon, good morning. From YouTube, clicky buttons or mushy buttons on start stop?
So the start stop's a plunger, like the 12s.
Yep.
So it's like got some depth and a spring to it. And yeah, feels good. The rest are like the sync and cue are clicky. Pads are not clicky.
Yep. Pads are squishy. Pads are squishy.
Is the technical term, I believe.
I believe that is the technical term. Squishy. Good morning, David from Facebook. Is there a feature where you could do a needle search in the track?
Oh yeah, I got one for you. So originally we set it to hold shift and use the platter to quick search, and that was cool and all. But if you were like deleting a cue point or something, holding shift, it was a mess. So what we did is enable it with shift and the beat jump encoder, so that will
that's cool.
quick search through the track.
Brilliant.
And you do need to have some sort of sync enabled in Serato for that to work.
Okay.
If you turn your sync off, it's not, because it kind of utilizes that beat jump algorithm kind of thing. But yeah, that's how you do that.
Cool.
I generally don't miss that feature now that we have beat jump in Serato. I mean, obviously we have for a few years, but like that's not a feature that I miss at all. It's, because when I'm DJing with turntables, I'm using phase. When I'm DJing with other things, I'm just so used to just jumping around the track with beat jump. It's just like second nature to me these days, but it's cool that it is an option.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm with you, Mojaxx. I don't use that. Like I would, if anything, I would do the whole like jump back to the beginning with shift and cue. I would do that maybe. I probably, or beat jump through. I don't think I would scrub through. But you never know. It's there.
Is it the identical size of the RANE 4?
Pretty close.
Is
Yeah, it's
within
pretty
a couple
close.
of millimeters. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a bump out. The crossfader bump out in the front
Yep.
is a little different. So, for example, if you had a
Deck saver.
a deck saver, it's
Yep.
not going to quite line up.
I
A
made the
little
deck
bump out.
saver guys sad because they sent me a 4 deck saver to see if it would fit the performer. I was like, yeah, it totally would, apart from that little bump on the front. So they're having to make a new one, bless them.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the reason that bump's there. I mean, there's an external tension adjustment. I'm sure everybody knows that, but that's why we put that there, so you can have that tension adjustment. So you don't have to take out the faceplate to adjust your crossfader. Other than that, it fits in cases. We checked with the case manufacturers. It fits. It is slightly, like very slightly taller because of the platters. I mean, we're talking a few millimeters, but for the most part, yeah, the case dimensions minus the bump out are going to be the same.
Yeah, we've done some fit tests here with cases, and they do fit. Fernando, you've got you have the Odyssey portable booth, correct?
The studio booth, yeah. I have a studio
Yep.
booth. It fits perfectly in there except for the acrylic top. They do need to adjust that.
Okay, yeah.
That-
So with that crossfader bump out, it's gonna
Yeah. Otherwise, it'll be
anything that's
laying-
got a really finished top. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
You didn't just router it out.
I'm very tempted to, because they're not going to have them for a while.
It's gonna be a bit. Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see here. A Timothy on Facebook. This might have been covered already, but I have a few DJs in my camp that use Windows 11 and their 4s, and ones have sound deterioration after an hour or so, and it's both predictable and recreatable. Don't use Windows.
Yeah, I was going to suggest
Yeah.
just to kind of hone in on the issue.
Yeah.
It's a Serato issue or a hardware issue. Just switch out the laptop with something else, see if it persists, or use a different build. Just do some troubleshooting, because a lot of times it's a MIDI mapping weird setting that causes some issues, or like it's just the Serato settings. So just I would troubleshoot, borrow the laptop, see what happens.
Serato has some pretty good guides for troubleshooting, like Windows, like optimizing for Windows use. So I would definitely start there. Next question. Is it possible to have track names or album art on the displays? Sure is. Yep.
Sure
There's a
is.
multitude of display modes.
Yep, right there.
Album art, library view. Yep. That's a good question. Kevin just asked, can you do custom art, Jake?
Yeah, you just have to you have to go the route of like adding it
Like
to
adding
the
it
artwork
into the
in
track?
iTunes or something. Yeah.
Okay.
There's not
Okay.
like you can't upload a thing, because it's not a standalone, it's Serato. So
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool. Are the jogs capacitive touch? They are not. Correct?
Correct. Yeah. 4.
Yeah.
Yes. No.
4 is.
Yep.
This is not.
These are definitely.
These are a motorized
Mechanical.
platter with the slip disc on top, motorized carriage underneath. Is there any controller that doesn't need a laptop? Oof, that's a discussion.
Oh man, we've got
Give us
another
call.
show.
We will take care of you. Yep. Yeah, give us a call. There, Herman. There's a lot of great controllers out there that do not require a laptop. What else you got, Kevin? Always wondered, how can we do trance style effects on these controllers like on CDJs? Anyone willing to show a demo? Trance.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's tough one to. I don't know that. Mojaxx, are you familiar with a trance style effect?
No, I mean, ultimately there are so many effects in the Performer that whatever kind of effect you're looking for, you're going to find it. There's almost too many effects in the Performer, because in my demo I was going through and I thought I'd done them all, and then I scrolled left and I was like, oh no, there's more over there that I haven't done yet. Like, it will, once I've really sat down with it, it's going to take me a while to actually figure out which effects I want on those buttons. And of course, with the new forthcoming version of Serato DJ Pro, like the one that's coming out today for this, will not have this, but the public beta, which is what, 3.2, will eventually, obviously that's going to have Performer support. And then there's new software effects in Serato, which are really cool new effects. So I think you could get completely lost in effects with this thing. Once you combine the hardware and the software, the options that you've got, there's so many. Whatever kind of effect you're looking for, you'll find it in the Performer. I've no doubt about that whatsoever. There's a crazy amount of effects, and they're really high quality as well. I mean, that comes over from the 4. The 4 was the same, wonderful built-in hardware effects, and there's even more options now on the Performer. Like those A-track fader effects. I'm never going to use those ever. I promise you, it's never going to happen. But I'm glad they're there, because lots of people will get, this will appeal to turntablists, and they'll get a lot of fun out of those effects as well. So, but yeah, effects wise, there's nothing to touch it, I don't think, in terms of the number of effects and quality combined.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate with everybody, these are in stock. They're shipping today. Retail price is $19.99, free shipping in the 48 states, and that's our warehouse camera right there. Yep, look at that little pretty pile of Performers. Beautiful. So yeah, in stock, $19.99. Give us a call. It's 866-776-6499, or you can jump on the website. You can instant chat with us. You can email sales@AGI-Pro-DJ as well. Jake, can you press start on one of the platters just so we can see? Yeah. So somebody had asked, what do you mean by motorized? There you go. It is a motorized platter. And they'd asked any issues with the touch on the platter not being registered like it was on the 4. And I will say, just from my experience, any capacitive touch jog wheel problems, look back to yourself. You've got a ground issue somewhere. Because 99.9% of the time, if you put your finger on anything metal on the controller and then touch the jog wheel, it works. So capacitive touch issues are 99.9% of the time, that's a grounding issue. There you go. Jake, we had a couple of, go ahead. So we'll go through the rest of the questions here. Is there a sampler volume on the unit?
There is. So there are a couple options. I can't show one of them because I have you on channel 4 in my headphones, but there's an option here. There's a sampler. Let's see, you can see, oh, that's my bad. There is a sampler volume knob here. So that in Serato, if your sampler is set to auxiliary, it'll use this knob for your sampler volume. And then you can also route it to channel 4. So if you hit this button, the sampler routes to channel 4. So then you can use this volume slider to control it, but also you can add effects and things like that to your samples using the main effects, channel effects, or EQ it or whatever you want to do. And that's just a couple options there.
James on YouTube asked, Mag 4 faders on all or just the crossfader?
Yeah, just the crossfader. These are, like I mentioned earlier, precision field faders is what we call it. Uses the same rails, the same carrier design, but it has a side-mounted fader on a metal circuit board.
Cool. Kevin's going to pull up a little scroller at the bottom, but don't forget to check out our blog, djshelpingdjs.com. We have a full write-up on the Performer right off the front page, so make sure you check that out. There's also a couple sections there from our very own Mr. Kevin, and also we've got Ruffnek's Diner, which is a top 10 set of tracks that he likes that come out monthly from our good friends at DMS. So make sure and check that out as well. Yes. Good morning, Ken. Can you save here? Can you save favorite effects so you don't have to scroll and look?
Yep.
Fernando?
Yeah.
Jake? Either one of you guys?
Yeah. You just long press the effect button after you select it on there, and you wait, and this little screen will say effects saved. That's all there is.
And that's saved persistently through power cycles as well. Like this morning, I fired it up and I forgot I had Cyclone on the first one. And I tried to do an echo out on something, and it was like, oh, what's happening? Oh, it's Cyclone is on. So yeah, it retains those settings over time as well. Once it's saved, which is great.
Very cool. What else? There we go. Yep. So there's the link to the blog if you all want to check that out. We do try to update that very often. Jake, are the up faders upgradable to Mag 4? I don't think so.
I would never say never. Somebody can maybe figure something out, but yeah, it's not going to be user replaceable at all. It's not designed. They don't have the mag sensors or anything like that. They're again just a fader side mounted on a metal circuit board.
Cool.
But that's a challenge. Somebody figure it out. See if you can do it. I've always heard that because of the proximity of the up faders to each other, there's more of a chance of magnetic kind of cross interference with the Hall sensors and the magnets. So that's what I've heard.
Okay. Nope.
I have a question, Jake, actually. I'm assuming Virtual DJ is coming with support for this because they have support for everything in the world ever. Is there any word on Algorithms DJ? Well, there's Ivan asking the same question.
Yep.
It's not currently compatible, right? But it will be Virtual DJ for sure. But yeah, how about Algorithm DJ Pro?
I honestly haven't heard anything about algorithm on this one, or even honestly, there hasn't been a lot of talk about Virtual DJ, and we'll be up to them to kind of add it. But as of launch and for the foreseeable future, this is only a Serato controller.
Are the up faders as stiff as RANE 1 up faders, which sucked? in their opinion. What's up, Andrew?
Everybody's entitled to an opinion. I will say I prefer these upfaders over the RANE 1 as well. I won't say the RANE 1 sucked, but I prefer these because they are, because of the dual rail. I mean, they glide along the same stuff as the crossfader. So if you feel a Mag 4, you kind of will have an idea of how these feel. They're slightly,
and they're adjustable
different.
too.
Yeah, and they're adjustable with that tension adjustment. So if you want a heavier, and less loose, you can do that. If you wanted a super loose, you could probably back out that tension adjustable magnet all the way. Just take it out, and then it'll be super light and loose. But you really don't need that because on their own, they're light.
Yeah, they are. They feel really good.
And I didn't mention before, but you can adjust the cut-in of those. You can reverse it so you can cut from the top of your upfader, and you can also adjust the contour from 0 to 100. So if you set it to 100 and reversed it, you could cut with the top of the fader, and it has like a super sharp cut when you do that.
Right on. Very cool. Well, thank you everybody for questions. We might come back to the rest of these here in a minute. Jake, are you've got everything set up there to talk about sound switch mapping, correct?
I do. Yeah, this is where we get nerdy, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, let me
I would
show you
love
what
to stay for the nerdiness, but I've got to go. I have to feed my kids. It's their dinner time here in the UK. So yeah,
Thanks
thank you
for
for having
joining
me.
us, Mojaxx.
Thank you, Jake, for
Mojaxx.
a fantastic product. Really excited that it's finally launched and we can really talk about it in detail. So yeah, and big up AGI Pro DJ every time.
And
Afraid to
Mojaxx,
store
you're
in the
live
US.
later too, right? You're
I
on again
believe-
later with Tweak Music Tips.
Yes, with Cova, yeah, on Tweet Music Tips. I don't even know what time that is. Who knows? But
2
yeah,
p.m.
it's just-
Eastern.
It's a busy
Say
day
it's
today.
2 p.m.
We're all
Eastern,
having
yep.
a busy day. And make sure you go watch my review before anyone else's, DJ City TV
Yes.
on YouTube. The video is called Touchdown, and that reflects my opinion on the RANE Performer. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Mojaxx.
Thanks, Mojaxx.
Thanks.
All right. Time to get nerdy. Okay, so I do have sound switch set up. Let me switch my view. Okay. So before I get there, let me start here. Okay. So, on the Performer, you can select different pad modes here. To get to the bottom pad mode, you just double press and you get to it. But on Hot Q, if you hold Shift and press that button, it opens up a world of magic with the MIDI assignable pads. And so you have 8 pads at your disposal, but you also have 2 up here. The parameter buttons are mappable. And so what I did, I thought, well, this would be really cool to map to, say, Sound Switch. So if you're not familiar with Sound Switch, you open it up, the program on, your laptop while you're running Serato, and it kind of works in the background. So if you had a like a Sound Switch Micro DMX dongle going out to your DMX lights from your laptop, you control them that way. But for me, I have Philips Hue here in my little studio, and they're just connected wirelessly to my laptop. And so I have right now I'm on a scene pause. So how I have this set up, I have this parameter button, left button is play pause for your sequence. These top buttons are kind of color overrides. Bottom ones are different auto loops that I have. And then this one I put a strobe on there. So my right button is like all white. Let me just unpause it. And I think my sound switch might have disconnected. Give me a second to sort that one out.
Yep, go for it. We can
Yep.
take a couple.
Take a couple questions.
We can go through a couple of questions, Jake. Yep.
Yeah.
What about dimensions compared to the 4, size and weight? Is it carry case compatible with the 4? Fernando, I'm gonna let you take this.
Yep, actually, it'll fit in just about any case. Everything will be pretty much the same. It's about 9.5 pounds heavier than the RANE 4. Not significant enough to where it's gonna drag you down. I mean, it is a little bit heavier. It's a little bit of a beefy boy, but not enough to where you're gonna need help to carry it. I have a case that I use for my RANE 4, fits in there. Have the studio booth from Odyssey, fits in there, and I'm just waiting for my other bag to show up, and then I'll have 3 ways to transport it, or the RANE 4, depending on what type of gig I'm doing. But yeah,
Yeah, we
it'll be compatible.
you got the headliner
Yeah, the headliner
RANE 4 bag,
case
right?
was actually pretty cool because it says that it can fit a RANE 4 with a deck saver. So I'll use that to transport this once they also make the deck saver for it.
Cool. Does the RANE 4 deck saver fit the RANE Performer?
Nope,
That's a
it
good
does not.
segue.
Yeah, it does not. The little bump at the front for the tension adjustment makes it so that you cannot use the same one because it is differently shaped in the front.
Yep.
But yeah,
Unless you're really savvy with a Dremel, and then you can make it fit.
exactly. Go to Harbor Freight.
Let's see. I'm looking for more questions that haven't already been asked.
Let's see here.
I'm saving a couple of these questions to
Leonard Love headliner bag. Kevin, can you pop a link up into the comments for the headliner bag that we've got in stock? I'm gonna hide that comment. This is not a question, but I'm just going to put that there and let it linger for a second. Shout out to Ken. Thank you, sir. We like to think so. We do our best. These are in stock today, everybody. $19.99 special pricing while the stream is running. Give us a call to get that special price. And these are ready to ship out today. So Callan had asked, how do you adjust the upfader tension? Fernando, do you have an overhead view?
I do, but I believe it's upside down on StreamYard.
Oh, fun.
Oh, it's been a while
Jake's
since
got
I
it.
lifted the other one, so I'll lift it up and I'll show you.
All right.
You just want to work out today.
And this is what I was looking forward to. Being able to
I want you to see you do this one-handed and not drop it, Jake.
I know, right on top of the MP unit, the only one I have to do these demos with. So you can see the screws in the upfaders, and then you see the Mag 4, same kind of tension adjust. Okay, take a screenshot. All right, we're done.
Yep, there you go. That's it. Damn, that's heavy.
Okay, we can do some sound switch.
Ruffnek stay so young.
Crush, what's up, buddy?
All right. Well, we can do some quick sound switch. I just had to my Philips Hue. If they go dormant, they disconnect from my Wi-Fi. So basically, I have them set up behind me, and then I have all these different. It's like I said, my top pads are colors. My bottom pads are different auto loops sequences that they go through, and then I set this to like a play pause, so I can pause the show. If I just want a static color, I set this one to blackout, so I can black things out. And then I can even strobe. I have a strobe right here. And then I added this one as like a solid white look. And then I can sit and strobe that. So that's through sound switch. And it's really easy. You open up your sound switch. And I even have a sound switch view. And like I mentioned, these are all MIDI mappable. And if I were just to, let me just reach over here. So if I'm in sound switch, I would just say, for example, I want this one to be, strobe like I did. You would just go to sound switch. I'm in the MIDI tab. And then you would just select strobe and right click. You do map and it's lit up in red. And then if I want to put that right here, I just tap it on the performer. And then that's set as my strobe. And as I mentioned, I set this to a white wash and this one's blackout. So you can really just dial in, a bunch of things on your performer. So if you're DJing, wedding DJ, event DJ using sound switch, you can just quickly navigate to that pad mode by holding shift and pressing your pitch play. Your hot cue, and then there you have it. And it's very good. So yeah, nice little feature that you can use.
Fernando, did you use any of that custom MIDI stuff for Mix Emergency?
Yes. Well, actually, that part I have not, because everything's already mapped as it is. Everything worked the same way that I had it mapped for my RANE 4.
Right on. Well, the nice thing, like you were saying, Jake, this is kind of an open palette, right? Like there's the options to use this section is pretty much unlimited, correct?
Yeah, 10 slots, the 8 pads and these two, so you can MIDI map them to whatever.
Right.
It's just really handy to have it right there.
I have a question, Jake.
Yeah.
On the curve for the up faders, because I change depending on how I'm DJing. Most of the time it's for mixing, obviously, but sometimes I cut up and down. I'm old school, so I cut that way. So I have to change my cut in on the up faders. Would I be able to save that as a preset on those pads so that I don't have to keep going in through the menu and go, oh, now I wanted 10%. Oh no, now I wanted 50%.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That's yeah, no, that's where we're crossing the line, hardware and software. Yeah,
that would be great, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be awesome? Just like a quick like shortcut, yeah. No, you have to go in and you have to do it. Unfortunately, Ruffnek.
That's all right. I mean, it's not hard to do it regardless. I mean, I've learned to go in much faster as I've had it for this time now, and just go through the menus. It's really easy to go through it. It really is.
And you could. We're down smaller. One. Yeah.
I think we're down 2. No, those were doubles. Yeah,
oh, nice.
2.
I was going to suggest as a workaround too,
3.
Ruffnek, you could I mean, you already know this, but you could just keep that cut in and then just use your trim up top, but it might be easier just to adjust it in the menu when you don't want it to be that way.
Yeah.
Shout out Power on Play. What's going on, man? 8-track sound effects is phenomenal. They're pretty wicked. They're crazy. You've got a couple of 8-track mixers, don't you?
Yeah.
Ruffnek? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Andrew on Facebook, how much does this thing weigh? These are like
28.2
questions. Yeah, 28, just a hair over 28.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, man. It's almost the same size as the RANE 4 within millimeters. Like everybody's been talking about, it's got that little bump out on the top for the tension adjustment for the faders. It weighs about 9 pounds more than a RANE 4. But you get motorized platters, so that's how you win. Ivan asked, and I'm gonna let you take this, Jake. How come you guys don't switch to USB-C for future compatibility and faster data transfer? That's a good question.
Yeah, it just didn't make it into the Performer, but that's something we're planning on, bringing to other product lines across end music brands.
I would imagine most, if not all, future generation hardware, we're going to see USB-C on it just because it's so prevalent anymore. So, are the platter displays OLED too, and are they bigger than the controller that shall remain nameless?
I can't. I can tell you that they're LCD. They're not OLED, but they're high definition LCD screens. I don't know how big the nameless controller screens are that don't include library view, but these are 3.5 inches diagonal. Like if you were to measure like a big screen TV, you do it diagonal, so it's 3.5 inches.
Okay, fair enough. Ramon, how do we get a copy of that blueprint of the Performer that Jake has in the background?
Oh,
you buy one.
Yeah, this right here. I tell you what, if you buy your Performer today during this live stream from AGI Pro DJ, they will throw one of those in the box for free. So Kevin's in the back printing them out on the press.
I was gonna say we got the large format printers, just cranking them out.
Yep, cranking them out
in the box.
That's kind of a quick fun story on that. So we were coming up with like, let's do a cool insert, and we're like, let's do a poster. And then somebody on the design team's like, we should do like song names for the features. And so we try to get clever, and like we use a lot of golden era like hip hop track names or verses, and we like labeled the, like Check the Rhyme is like I think it's a headphone cue or something like that, and different little like, and we did like that as the feature call out as the song name. Where it's at, and it points to 2 platters and the microphone input, kind of things like that.
Right on. Very cool. What else do we got here? Can you route the mics to a DAW like Ableton Live?
Well, you can route the mic to your USB out. So I don't have an official answer, but I'm assuming you could if it'll recognize this as a an input
as a sound
source.
card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would imagine should be. DJ Chill. Oh, okay. So this DJ Chill on Facebook had asked, "Is that controller IR?" And I think you're saying ILS, and I assume you mean ILS like Chauvet lighting ILS. So what Jake is showing right now is Sound Switch. We were using the Sound Switch integration. So he was doing MIDI control triggering of the Sound Switch software, which is an in-music product.
I don't think there's any MIDI mapping for the ILS command right
No,
now.
there's not.
So
Not
I
yet.
don't think there'd ever be compatibility, or unless Alan from Chauvet gets to work on making something work. But to my knowledge, that won't happen.
Yeah, I don't think it's an open system. So.
I was just I have one hot tip too, for your customers that buy a Performer today on the sticker sheet, and I want to mention it because it's kind of easy to miss. But you get this sticker sheet in the lower right-hand corner. It looks like nothing's there because it's a white sticker on a background. But those are your platter markers. So like the little stickers. Yeah, there's 4 of them there. They're really, I missed them. And I was like, hey guys, you forgot to put the platter markers on the sticker sheet. And they're like, no, they're in the bottom right hand corner. So yeah, that's where they are. If you are wondering where they are, that's where they're.
Nice. Anything we missed, Fernando? That last call for questions first, everybody. So if you got a question, pop it into the chat. Fernando, what's your 20,000 foot view right now on the controller? I know like we've talked about it for the last week or so, and you've really been digging on it. So
yeah, no, this is honestly something that I've been waiting for. I held off on any controllers not because I hate controllers. I think every piece of hardware, every piece of software out there has its place. And you kind of have to move with technology as it comes through and use it as a tool, not as a crutch. I'm not a purist, although I come from turntables.
You do,
but for me, I just could not find a controller that had a good feel to it. When I got the RANE 4, I said, okay, this is going to be the closest thing. It's built like we keep saying, like a tank. So I went from 57s to 62s. To dual 70 8 tracks. I mean, I've always had 2 mixers, and then I went to the RANE 4, and this is the one thing that I said I wish they could come out with the moving platter. So I'm sure they'll do a great job on it. Once I got a hold of this, yeah, there's no going back. I'm looking at, okay, I need to offload. Maybe I might sell my Grandmasters because I mean I have 6 turntables at home, plus I have the RANE 4, 2 8 tracks, and then I have the Performer. So I've got quite a bit of gear right now, but this has become my favorite right now. I love this thing. I absolutely do.
Yeah, I think it really checked all the boxes for you, especially being a turntable guy, right? Like I know, when I've known you for years, and you're like anti-controller dude. Like, nope, not gonna happen. And then the RANE 4 came out, and you're like, I think I need one of those. And we were like,
yep.
Really? So
yeah.
I don't know if anybody noticed in the background, but that stack is getting smaller and smaller. This is cool. Yeah, they're in stock today. That pile you're looking at is actually a live view out in our warehouse. $19.99. Free shipping in the United States, 48 states. And we got you guys. Please support your local DJ business and your local DJ shop. We appreciate it very much.
Now, hey, Jake, I have a question for you. Yep. As far as firmware, for those of us that have it, is the firmware that's up now on RANE.com different and a different version of what we have, or is it essentially the same?
It's probably different. It's a day one update, depending on when. So we had a bunch of like beta testers and things like that. We were, getting firmware to, or retail partners and things like that. What I would do is go to RANE and check. I mean, it's a really simple updater. It's just like you download it and you open it while it's connected. But in your menu, that's actually one of the options. You can dive in, shift and hardware software effects, and then you can see your firmware version. And like it'll tell you what the version is, and you'll know if it's the same one as
Yeah.
What's
So
on the
far,
Rane?
the updater was actually really easy, and it only took like 30 seconds to really update. Firmware is pretty fast on this thing.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things like you might as well just do it.
Yeah.
By the time you could check, you could probably just go ahead and download it and update it.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And I definitely recommend for anyone who picks one of these, go through the menu. There are tons of options there, especially for routing your
It's deep.
microphone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just pages on pages of things. It's not so intricate that you're gonna get lost, but it has plenty of things that you can change settings on to make it yours immediately.
yeah.
Because I
Agreed.
took the routing of the microphone out of my booth. I don't like it when I'm at the club because I get feedback sometimes because it's a small area, and I have it so it doesn't go to my laptop in case I want to record a set and I'm live. I can record a set at the club, but then it doesn't record it any of the announcements on the recording, so I can have a live set that I can throw up on Mixcloud or whatnot.
Yeah, and I would if somebody you either get a performer or you're thinking about it. I just recorded. I was like, I'm just going to talk through all the features and do a nice little video for Rane. When I got done, it was like an hour and 15-minute long video of me just talking about every little thing, and I did my best to put chapter markers on it. But that's on our YouTube. It's on the Rane performer landing page, but that will like goes through all the menu options and it just talks about everything. So if you have an hour and 15 minutes to kill, sit on your couch, put the thing on your TV, and
Just
grab
watch it on
popcorn.
1.5.
Yeah, I had to. That's actually how I had to preview the video because I'm like, I can't afford to render this thing out again, so I put it on double speed, and I'm like, yeah, but
Yep.
yeah, it's a good resource. It's just really long.
Jake, do you have anything non-copyright where you could show stem split?
Yeah, I do. I have this little track here.
Awesome.
Turn my gain up, and let me switch my view.
Yeah. Well, Jake's working on that. Make sure you check out the links in the chat. We put up some links to the download section on RANE.com. There's a link to check out the RANE Performer on AGIPerDJ.com, as well as some bundles that we have already pre-put together for you with some cases in a bag. Make sure you check that out.
Okay, is this volume too aggressive? Here, let me turn it down so I can go all the way up. Is that okay?
Yeah, it sounds fine.
Okay, so here we're on channel 1, and so you'll see here we have channel 1 and channel 3, and how stem split works. You'll see at the bottom there's a mic icon here and a keyboard icon here. That kind of correlates with up here, mic, keyboard, and that's when stem split is enabled. So we're all on one. But as soon as I hit stem split, it's going to split it across these two channels and put the instrumental over here. And I can add effects to each independent element. And then one of my favorite things to do is you can take over whatever element by just hitting the button. So I like to grab the acapella, and you can cut it up a little bit, and then you can just do a quick double press. Whatever's selected when you hit stem split, that's what everything kind of aligns to because it instant doubles it. So I can just grab it, cut it up, and then snap it back together.
Put it back together. Yeah.
And then, so yeah, you can like chop up some acapellas and whatever, and then snap them back together.
Because basically it splits it out as like an instant double, right?
Yeah, instant double. And yeah, here it's actually. Let me just. Sorry for the arm.
All good.
Yeah, here's how it works. And I won't do the full-fledged demo, but let me expand this out to 4. Okay, So I'm going to unsplit it. So this is on 3 now, right here. Actually, let me go. We'll do 3. Yeah. So everything's here.
Losing control. I got
And so when I stem split this, you're gonna see it split over to 1.
me. Losing control. I'm gonna
And so when they're stem split and they're still split up here, anything I do jumps through the acapella and the instrumental together. Cue points, loops. And then if I were to put them back together by hitting stem split again, it's all going to go back on 3. So that's kind of the magic under the hood, how it splits them apart, and then that's why you
Right
can
on.
apply different effects to everything. And then when I took it over, it was I just grabbed the 1 and that selects it, and then I can manipulate it. And then when I hit that thing to bring it back together, it just lines it back up.
Can you
Project
show the stems EQ also?
Yeah.
Jake?
So that I'll leave this view up because you only need 1 track. You don't need to split them or anything, although you could get really complicated. But on 3, so if I were to just hold Shift and press, see, I'm on channel 3. That means I need to press the stem level button, which is beneath the headphone cue button. So then it flashes, and what that does, it turns the 3-band EQ to stems. So now I just got drums. And what's nice is then you can boost the volume or decrease it. So you don't just have to like remove it or add it. You can boost it, do a little bit of drum, full vocal, maybe a little melody.
Losing control of me. Losing control. I'm gonna explode. Can you bring it back to me?
That's slick.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. There's 4 different ways to DJ with stems on that. And this is kind of the 4th, the newest edition. Yeah.
Shout out John Sharkey on Facebook. Finally, a replacement for my NS7 III. Yes, that's a huge jump, bro. Yeah. Last call for questions. All platforms, everybody. Last call. Anybody? Well, someone had asked, will the RANE 4 be killed now that this is out?
Yeah, absolutely not. It's nice to have options. And so you have the ability to get a static platter or a motorized platter, whatever you want. And then you could even have both and work between them if you want to just like mix it up a bit, because the workflow, a lot of the workflow is like the stems workflow and all that is very similar, if not identical, between the two. There's just some additional additions with the performer with the faders, the precision fill faders, and then the fader effects, and obviously the motorized wheels and the external tension adjust.
Cool. Does the RANE Performer have different torque speeds for the motor? Good question.
Yep, there's high and low. It's in the main menu again. Like
Those menus are deep.
Yeah, you got to get in that menu. If you grab the user guide, rane.com/downloads, that user guide walks you through all the effects. It walks you through the entire menu tree, so you can see everything. Or you can watch that 1 hour and 15-minute video.
Grab that bucket of popcorn. Will it fit in the RANE 4 case? Yep. 99% of them. So again, there's that little bump out where the tension adjustment is, and you're basically just going to you're either going to squish the foam a little bit, or you could get creative and get a razor knife and chop it a little bit. So
Actually, in all honesty, because of if you look on the edges
the
of the
doors.
controller, the
Yeah.
bumpers are there. So
Yeah.
nothing where the bump out is for the contour doesn't extend beyond those bumpers. So
Yep.
it's the same footprint as the RANE 4. The only accessory that's not going to work for you is the RANE 4 deck saver. And again, like we said, unless you want to go in and do some Dremel surgery and just notch out that front little, whatever the width of that 7 inches, 8 inches is. Every other case that's out there, Pro X, Odyssey, all the soft bags, Magma, everything seems to fit right now that we've seen. We've actually got an open Pro X case that we had our demo in, that if somebody wants to place an order today and buy the sample that's on Ty's table, you can buy it with the Pro X case and we'll get you a special deal on that.
Cool.
One more time, last call for questions. Jake's going to jump here in a couple minutes to join the RANE train, which is going to start off with Scratch Bastard, and we'll get links to all of that. That's going to be happening on Twitch throughout the rest of the day, with starting with Scratch Bastard, and then I think it's Kova with Tweak Music Tips, along with Mojaxx and Cleveland Terry, and then I think it's is it Pearly
Pearly's
and then
next.
Praise?
Yeah, Pearly, then Craze, then K-Swizz.
So for the East Coast folks, from noon until 6, it's all performer performances streaming on Twitch. And then we're going to try and get Fernando to do a live stream for us too on his.
Nice. Any other questions? When will the deck saver be available? Yeah, probably 90 days. Be my guess.
Yeah, I haven't heard from anybody at DeckSaver yet as to when they're going to do, and I don't know if they're going to do one universal for both, like if they'll modify it so it fits both, which is historically what they'll do. Like when there's something that's really
like
close,
a Mark II,
they'll make like a bump out, and it'll still fit a 4, but it has a little room to accommodate the performer. Is my guess. I'm not saying that's going to happen, but that would be consistent with what DeckSaver tries to do to maximize the utilization.
Right on. Don't forget, check out our blog, DJs Helping DJs. We've got the new RANE Performer on there, as well as we have some other sections from our very own Kevin, who's in the chat right now. And then, again, Ruffnek Diner. It's got our top 10 tracks for the month from our friends at DMS. If you're looking for great music, make sure you check out Direct Music Service. Those guys are amazing. And again, in the RANE 4s, the RANE 4, or sorry, the RANE 4, that's a habit. The Performer is in stock, and they're shipping out today. That file's gotten significantly smaller than it had, so that's great.
And thank you to everybody that's watching that has placed orders, because it definitely helps us keep things going, and helps keeps us working, keeps something to do.
Exactly. Thank you, everybody, and thanks everybody for joining the chat today, and thank you, Jake, as always.
Yeah, appreciate having me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And
Jake, is there anything else you want to close with that we haven't touched, we haven't brushed up against? That's
no. Now it's just like there's plenty of materials out there for you to research it and see if it's the controller for you. And plenty on RANE, and tune in to the RANE train. That's just kind of like the fun celebration of finally releasing this thing. So we're gonna have fun on there. And then just hit us up on our social channels. If you have questions, hit up Kevin or Ty, and just to enjoy it. It's a fun controller. It's the one you've been waiting for. So you should get one.
Or get 2.
Couldn't have said it better. Or 2. For now, you buy 2 of everything, don't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I
don't get
12s.
paid. I don't get paid at AGI. I get more gear.
Fernando, you should get like 2 12s, because you can expand this out. To 4 motorized decks. You just plug in 2 12s to the inputs. I didn't even talk. There's 2 extra inputs, and then even if you had vinyl, all those main effects work on external sources, so you could.
Yep,
that's cool.
Yeah. So that's really my last thing. Also,
that's the next demo.
Right on.
4 decks. I think it would like shake this this studio I'm in to the ground. If you had 4 moving decks, it would just like crumble.
All right, I'm gonna run your the Immortal. It's Immortal, right?
Yep, DJ Immortal.
The Immortal videos, and then we'll wrap up, and then we'll start answering the phones, because I've been on D&D since we started.
And Fernando's going to play until 6 p.m. Pacific.
You say what?
Longest set of your life. Thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you guys.
It's a demo. You heard the boy's life is a nice of what? He's the main entertainer inside the show, and he goes by the name of DJ Immortal. It's a demo.
It's a demo. A professional performer. It's a demo. It's a demo. It's a demo. It's a demo.